16-year-old boy. Staff Sergeant Marino considered the day a success. He had brought his platoon and its Iraqi partners out alive.
Everybody walked out of there without a scratch, and we turned around and had 4 enemy kills and 3, persons under control. You can't ask for a better day. It was a real good day.
Insurgents aren't the only Iraqis dying here. These police officers from the city of Iskandariyah were killed last year by fighters opposed to their work with the Americans. But most of the dying is done by civilians. Conservative estimates put the number of Iraqi civilians killed since the 2003 invasion at more than 30,000. After 60 days, BLT-12 rotated out, turning over the city of Heat to an Army unit almost overnight. The enlisted Marines had less than a day to brief soldiers taking their place.
We got shot by a sniper at this intersection right here.
Is it the same guy,
We think so, because every time he shoots, he's up into the leg. So, had a grenade thrown at us the other day up here.
Handovers like this happen periodically all over Iraq. One unit, in this case an Army battalion, takes over from another. The Marines will pass on the lessons they've learned here, but the Army is under no obligation to use them.
Marine Corps has a finite...
Colonel Frank McKenzie is commander of Marine forces in the city of Heat.
Well, I think the biggest problem we have here in Iraq is the short turnover between units. We were on the ground for about 60 days. We did a lot of great things, but I'm concerned that the largest single lesson people will draw from it will be the fact that we left at the end of 60 days.
The handover was the moment the insurgents were waiting for. They struck hard, launching a full-on attack against the new Army unit with small arms and rocket-propelled grenades. The Marines got orders to head south to Kuwait and eventually home. But not all the Marines are going home. 3 members of Charlie Company were killed by an IED in February. They were the BLT's only deaths during the 2006 tour in Iraq. Marines make up about 18% of the 133,000 U.S. troops now deployed in Iraq. The Marine Corps is a much smaller force than the Army, but it sends a greater percentage of its troops into combat. So the proportion of Marine casualties is higher. Almost 30% of U.S. military deaths since the invasion have been Marines.
Corporal Orville Garina, Lance Corporal David Parr, Private First Class Jacob Spann, U.S. Marines. Good grunts. Love their families.
Lance Corporal Broussard was Jacob Spann's team leader.
We would get off of post, frozen, toes so cold, barely walk down the stairs. We would sit in front of the heater and talk about our plans when we got home. Plans that he will never have the chance to fulfill.
Thank you. Really appreciate going up this hill.
As the war in Iraq enters its 4th year, America's armed forces are stretched to the limit.
I think it's safe to say that any infantry battalion in the Marine Corps is going to be coming into Iraq, at least in the near term.
Staff Sergeant Marino is pretty sure he'll be sent back to Iraq. He's making a career in the Corps, and from his perspective, after 2 tours in Iraq, the BLT made progress.
We are looking in the right direction through the elections, through way higher than Staff Sergeant Marino and his Marines, but the process is working slowly but surely. Time will tell, and it's going to take time. You can't just walk into a country overnight and say, hey, this is the way it is, these are the rules, and you got to play along.
But the continuing cycle of deployments is taking its toll. Lance Corporal Broussard is also a lifer. When I was in Iraq last year, he was gung-ho, hoorah, as the Marines say, about the mission. Not anymore.
I don't see any more good coming out of being here, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you can only make so much progress. And then you have the guys hiding behind the scenes planting IEDs and stuff, and it's so hard to stop that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, you can only do much until you freaking slam your face into the wall so many times.
Once again from New York City.